The first round of creative arts I immersed myself in was visual arts. Now, to begin my journey, I completed a structured line work canvas painting, which opened the gateway for me to explore a more simplistic visual arts concept with my limited skill and experience. In doing this, I explored the concepts of using primary colours and then mixing such colours to create different contrasts. In doing this, I was able to meet the AITSL Graduate Teaching Standard 2.1.1, Know Content and How to Teach It, in immersing myself in creative tasks to familiarise myself and learn the skills to promote creative expression and fine motor skills to my students, as supported by Bloomfield A and Childs J 2013. Now, given my beginner experience, this task was quite easy and simple for me to complete, so I knew I had to level up my game in completing something a little bit more challenging. This is where I purchased a paint by numbers canvas, which you'll see in a moment. This was slightly overwhelming when I did open it up to get started. However, what I did do to begin with was inspect the canvas and all of the intricate fine lines and the areas I needed to paint to effectively complete the painting to an acceptable standard. This guided painting provided me with a little bit more of calmness and structure in how I would tackle it, and began focusing on smaller components of the artwork in more manageable chunks. Once those larger specialised components were completed, I then focused on using one colour of paint to complete all corresponding areas to the number to make my goal more achievable. I did find it particularly challenging in the smaller and finer lines of the painting, and noticed my quality was not as good as the other components of the artwork. As a primary school teacher, this experience in visual arts aligns with the AITSL Graduate Teaching Standard 2.1.1, as I've gained a deeper understanding on how to teach foundational visual arts concepts. By breaking down complex artwork into manageable steps, I can guide students through the content more effectively, scaffolding their learning and ensuring they grasp the core principles of colour and structure. Now, working through these tasks highlights various teaching strategies such as explicit instruction and visual cues that enhances student engagement and success in art, as supported by Sawyer RK 2018. The AITSL Graduate Standard 6.1.1 also plays a role, as this reflection identifies my professional learning needs. Understanding the pedagogical strategies behind these art tasks allows me to tailor my teaching experience to better support my students' artistic development, and in line with the syllabus to reinforce the value of structured creative tasks in fostering student growth and meeting curriculum objectives. This professional engagement drives ongoing refinement of my teaching approach, ensuring my lessons are both engaging and effective. Creating music using sounds, movement, and musical instruments has been an enlightening and humbling experience. By creating rhythm through body percussion and simple movements, I learned how rhythm can be both felt and expressed physically before translating it into a musical instrument. The connection between movement and sound helps students internalize musical concepts like beat and timing, making the music more accessible and engaging. This is where I had some trouble. Now, those challenges lie in guiding students to maintain that rhythm and synchronize their movements in beat and rhythm, and then understanding the notes to be able to play the instrument in itself. Gooding, Ellen Stanley, J.M. 2011 supports that this requires coordination and focus, which are developmental skills that need practice, which I had difficulty to begin with. This immersion in the music component has shown me how important it is to use diverse teaching strategies like call and response, modelling, and visual aids to help students grasp rhythmic concepts before introducing instruments. By engaging in these tasks, I met AITSL Standard 2.1.1 as I've developed a deeper understanding on how to teach rhythm using progressive methods, starting with movement to familiarise students with musical concepts and gradually incorporating instruments, scaffolding students' learning, and reinforces the musical concepts as discussed by Coopers E, Van Dyke M, and Van Gert P 2017. Additionally, I've identified areas for growth within my practice, aligning with the AITSL Standard 6.1.1, where reflection on my teaching informs my professional learning journey. Recognizing that some students might need differentiated approaches has prompted me to explore more inclusive strategies, ensuring all learners can engage with music. Final strand of creative arts I immersed in was dance, completing these dance tasks that involved following a taught routine and then adding my pair's dance moves once brainstormed and thought of was creative, reflective, yet humbling of an experience. Now, learning a structured dance routine first gave me the foundation to understand the rhythm, the movement patterns, and the timing that was required in order for the dance to be effective and for it to look quality. Now, to start off with, I did feel quite stiff and uncomfortable with the dance, as it is definitely not a strong suit of mine when it comes to creative arts, or one that I necessarily feel comfortable with. However, I did become more comfortable as the lesson progressed and as I got further into the dance, once I became more comfortable with those elements and repeated those steps a number of times. I was able to explore my own creativity by incorporating unique movements, which encouraged self-expression and my own personal style, which is an essential skill to the dance component as supported by Schrader CA 2005. The blend of structure and freedom allowed me to fully engage with the dance task and gain insight into how students might experience similar activities or similar feelings with dance. The challenge for me, however, was understanding the concepts of dance with working in beats and rhythms to match the music, but also finding and incorporating dance moves that flowed nicely from the body into the routine that was already created. The challenge in these tasks lied in coordinating both body movement and musical rhythm, as well as maintaining that confidence when introducing that individual choreography, which I did lose a little bit. I started to get a bit overwhelmed, and that confidence wasn't there anymore because it was something that I wasn't following. It was something that I had to create, which I wasn't comfortable with. Now, I really gathered a lot of useful information when completing those dance tasks, like just myself, as I've resonated with Davies M 2003, that some students, like myself, may struggle with physical coordination or rhythm. So finding ways to support them, such as constant repetition, peer support, individual one-on-one support, and breaking down those complex movements and making it a fun environment is essential and crucial in their dance development. Encouraging the creativity while balancing technique is an ongoing process that requires careful and noticed scaffolding to build student confidence and understanding. Now, throughout this experience, I've managed to meet that AITSL standard 2.1.1 by expanding my understanding of how to effectively teach dance in a way that combines technical instruction with opportunities for student creativity. And I've gained an insight into teaching strategies such as modeling, progressive skill building, and allowing space for individual expression. And the immersion also relates to AITSL standard 6.1.1, as it has highlighted the importance of continuous professional learning in the arts, especially in identifying strategies that foster both creative freedom and skill development for all students.